Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Vanessa and I'm an author from Toronto, Canada, and I publish under the pen name YA Sage. I write mystery, fantasy, YA, adult, romantasy now, some gothics. I've got a whole bunch of everything under my belt. And I also have a young adult sci-fi fantasy. That was one of the earlier books that I've written, and it is a book that I love so much. And that book is currently on a pre-launch period on Kickstarter. Now, I have a really cool edition to share with you guys today. I'm shaking with how good this special collector's edition of Kartega, the book in question, turned out. So I'm super excited. It's like right here, and I just want to grab it and share it. However, I also wanted to preface that this video is going to be about my experience with Kickstarter so far, setting it up. This is before the campaign. I will do another video after the campaign, thoughts, kind of what happened, all of that stuff, how it went. However, this is pre-campaign, and I really wanted to do a video where I talk to you guys about this, especially if you are thinking of starting your own Kickstarter. So you can kind of see a lot of the tools and resources that I used, some things that I found to be an issue. And we're just going to have a very informal chat after I show off the book that is going on my campaign. So if that sounds like something that you want to hear more of, because I do videos here every single day, then I hope you do think about subscribing. I put out a lot of videos for authors that has to do with pretty much anything that might help you in your writing and things that I find help me in my writing. And then we have chats and all that stuff. We have fun here is what I'm saying. So if you feel like subscribing, make sure that you're part of the team and hit that note button right now and join us. I can't wait any longer. So we're going to get into the book. So first, a little bit about Kartega. So Kartega is, like I said, a YA sci-fi fantasy. I wrote Kartega initially thinking that it was going to be a series. I have written 2 books for it, and then I realized that I kind of switching gears in my writing. I got signed with a publisher. It was like a whole different, we were going on a different journey. And it kind of took a little bit of a backseat. It didn't take a backseat because I didn't love the story, because to this day, it might be one of my favorite stories that I have written, just because the world building was so intense for me. It wasn't like urban setting, modern setting in any way. It was completely created. And it had like sci-fi elements. I studied a lot of science fiction and a lot of actual science and space science and all of that in order to write this book. And that was really different for me and super, super interesting. And so this book, I love this book. I love the story behind it. So the story of Kartega is basically one of colonization by humans to another planet, where they show up, they take over, and they're using the local inhabitants, the native inhabitants of the star of Kartega. They call it Neostar because they rename it. The native population has an electrical magic in them. And so they start using them basically as human batteries to power their elite cities that they live in. Now, amidst all of this, there is one girl who has not been controlled by the queen and her new star order. And that girl is on an orbiting ship going around the star. She has been kept in secret by somebody who helped her when she was just a small child. And her only rule while she's doing this is never to use her magic ever, right? Because she is hiding it. Things happen, and of course, our lovely Sid ends up on the star after a crash. And now she's thrust into a world and an underbelly of a rebellion where she is kind of caught between 2 sides, both of whom want to use her or to erase her. And that is kind of the premise of the story. It is not really, there's no chosen one in this. Sid is a survivor. And so it's a chosen one with a twist. We have found family. We have unexpected twists all throughout. And basically, it's a story of a girl who refuses to stay silent when the world wants her to. So that is the premise of Kartega. And now to show you Kartega. So Are we ready? I'm in awe. Okay. I will talk about where I got this printed in a second, but first I just want to show this off. If you go on the Kickstarter pre-launch, there is no video right now, but when the campaign launches, I have a full detailed video walking you through this whole thing. There's a lot of details about the story there, all the different tiers, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this is Kartega. I went with a holographic foiling on the front, on the spine, and also on the back. So we've got a case laminate. This is about 698 pages. So 700 pages when you add the extra in there. And the foiling actually goes like even around in here, which is funny. But so it's a beast of a book, right? We've got these absolutely stunning sprayed edges. I am obsessed. I can't. And then we're talking about end pages. So the end pages are also cover front and back. So the back has the same design of end papers, but then on the other side of it, I have the original art that was done for this book. So I originally had this art commissioned by Odette A. Bach, who's probably like one of my favorite artists ever. I will link her Instagram below. I think she's absolutely brilliant. And she did 2 pieces of art for me for the 2 book covers. And so I'm including them there as full art in the book. And there's one in the back as well to kind of finish off those end papers. So we've got the 2 pieces of art of Sid in the book on the 2 stages of her life on Kartega. We have I'm wondering if maybe it's a bit too bright, but we've got the title page here. And then we also have full chapter headers and pages here. Every single chapter gets this. There is a ribbon, so a nice ribbon over here. And then we've got the blue and white. I'm wondering if I can like kind of zoom in so you can kind of see, but the blue and white ribboning to make this book even sturdier on the edges. And I did get that done. So I'll talk to you about like what Bookwell does for their bespoke line and how they treat these special editions and what is considered like an additive and what costs more money to make. So I went all out with the frills, and I'm going to talk about why and what this decision that I made to do that, why I made it that way. But I wanted all out with the frill. So whatever I could get right off the bat as the starting point of the special edition without having to go through stretch goals to get it, I wanted to get it done right away because I wanted this book to be absolutely perfect immediately. I want everybody who backs it on the lowest tier for this specific edition to just get it as it is without having to wait for maybe stretch goals and all that stuff to get things like the end papers or the ribbon or any of those sprayed edges or any of that stuff, right? So that's what I wanted. That was a choice I made. It means my tiers will be slightly higher, but it also means that the book is just absolutely stunning. It's stunning without having to wait, which is what I wanted. I also have an early release paperback. So because I ended up combining the 2 books, there was some slight rewriting that had to happen. There were things that had to be cut out. And so I also have an early release paperback that I am offering as part of this campaign. So before this book is out in the world and available on different retailers, the paperback only, this special edition will only be available through the campaign. So if you want this one, it's only through the campaign. You can get it by backing that. And like maybe if you see me in person and I happen to have a copy left over, you can get it that way, but that's really a gamble. So the paperback though will be available later down the line. However, you can get it as an early release during this campaign, and you can also get an early release of the ebook direct to you during this campaign. So the paperback looks a little different. There's no holographic, and so everything is kind of has a different treatment, but it's essentially very much the same design. It does not have the end papers, it does not have the art, but it does have the chapter art inside, and so it's also a bit special in its own way. So these are the 2 kind of versions that we will have. I just can't stop. Like I look at this every day when I pass by our bookshelf. So to talk a little bit my experience so far. So first, since I showed off this beauty, I want to talk about the printer. So I did go with Bookwalt and Bookwalt is based out of the UK. They do print in the US and Canada, however, and and obviously the UK, yes. But their bespoke line, which is the line that you want to do if you're doing these special editions, their bespoke line only prints from the UK. Now, there are positives and negatives to BookWalt. I know people have had some issues. I did not really have any issues. I have a slight issue with the foiling where it kind of a little bit peeled off here. And there's a slight gradation that I don't really like in the edges. However, I messaged them and they sent me a replacement the next day. Like they put it into print for a replacement the next day. So for me, so far, the experience has been fantastic. The books have been beautiful. I did get another BookWalt order for my other special edition that I showed you from my publisher because they actually use them as well. I believe. I think they did. I think a lot of people are using BookWalt now for bigger orders. And so like I've had nothing but great experience with BookWalt so far. We'll see how it goes when they have a bulk order and how that works out. The reason I went with BookWalt is because of all the stuff that they offer, they were price-wise the most affordable for a special edition or collector's edition book. Everywhere else I have quoted, I would either have to buy in very large quantities, and I don't want to do that because I don't know how this Kickstarter is going to go. It's my first one. And so I'm okay with going somewhere that might not give me like something that I might want, but it lets me order as many basically copies as I need without having to invest in like 100 or 500 copies. Because again, I'll be happy if I sell 10 copies of this book, on this Kickstarter. I'm not aiming like super, super high. I just want people to get this beautiful book because I just think it's so absolutely stunning. So the cost, so the only cost that you should consider when you're doing BookWalt is if you are doing signed copies and every single one of your books is going to be a signed copy that goes elsewhere in the world, you will have to pay for shipping to get the books from you from the UK if you're doing BookWalt, to get them to you. And then you have to sign them, and then you have to pay for shipping, or your customer will have to pay for shipping again. So that means that extra shipping cost is going to have to work into the price of your original book. So your tiers are higher. I am also in Canada, and our shipping is higher. So the way that I'm going around this, my choice for this, is that I do not. Some people do just book plates for anywhere that is not in. Or for anywhere in general, they just do book plates and then a much higher price for to get it signed. I want everybody to have a real signature on it if I can manage it. And so my deal with this was that if you are international, so UK, Australia, EU, which is the ones where it would cost me the absolute most to get this shipped over to you again, and this is to save you, like the buyer, not you, but the buyer, shipping prices, I offer those tiers as book plate only. So they will ship directly from BookWalt once I have addresses to the person, and then I will pop in any swag, any add-ons, anything that they've received, and a bookplate, a signed bookplate, into the mail for them to go in separately. If you're in the US and Canada, you're going to get it signed immediately. However, I do have it listed on my Kickstarter that if you want it's signed and not the bookplate, and you live in the UK, Australia, or EU. If you wanted to pay for the shipping, contact me and I will give you a quote. Sometimes the shipping prices to ship to these places, especially if you're getting the tier that has both a paperback and the special edition, or two special editions, for example, the shipping is just absolutely insane. Like it's as high as the tier itself a lot of times because of the weight, because this is a massive book. It's huge. It's heavy. And so to ship it costs more. So I'm giving people options. So Kickstarter so far, and again, this is completely informal, you guys. I'm going to do like a full breakdown of how I set up the campaign and all that stuff. I just kind of want to talk to you. Some of the resources that I found absolutely invaluable if you are thinking of doing the Kickstarter is joining the Kickstarter for Authors Facebook group. Every question you might have, somebody already had it, and a lot of people have answered. It is a wonderful resource. There is a free book that the admin of the Facebook group also offer, and so I got that, and it helped me tremendously. The other advice that I would give you as far as resources, and this is kind of like something you can make yourself, and I will link the video. There are TikToks, but there's YouTube as well. And one author, I think she's also an admin in the group. I can't recall right now, to be honest. She might just be an active member. But she made a whole video for Kickstarter for Authors I think she might have written the book too. I don't know. I'm getting confused right now. Anyways, it's been a while since I read this stuff. But parts of the videos there were spreadsheets that she created in Google Docs. And so I kind of just followed her example and made my own spreadsheets, but make a cost breakdown spreadsheet. Do not guesstimate your prices. Cost out everything. Cost out the tape that it will cost you to buy to package things together. Because when I started doing this, it actually helped me really figure out like what the tier prices are going to be so that I can make a decent enough profit that if something were to go wrong, I have a buffer of some sort, right? At the end of the day, you're not just breaking even. This is a lot of work. And so you want to make some kind of profit of Kickstarter, and people expect you to make a profit. It is like a product that you're selling, and people make profits off of products, right? So you want to figure out like how much everything's going to cost you, shipping, everything, just every boxes, whatever it is, the books themselves, obviously. You want to price out any art that you're doing. I am getting like stickers that are being designed, like some cute little kawaii kind of little sticker, like I guess they are kind of cool, but anyways, cutesy little sticker designs of the three main characters. Getting that designed. I've priced out my art for even things. So vellum inserts, art, I'm offering extra art, and vellum inserts and a foiled special designed dust jacket for this one. And what else are we looking at? There's something, a hand-drawn map by this like brilliant artist that I'm obsessed with to go inside the book. Those are my stretch goals. Because the book is already like as beautiful as I could imagine it to be, I've added even more frills as stretch goals. And that was kind of my play here, that I wanted it to be perfect. And then the stretch goals would just be add-ons. A lot of times the way that authors do this is they calculate their stretch goals and add-ons into the price of the tier. Like they already are pretending that the book already has all these things, and that's how they price their tiers. And that way when stretch goals happen, they just kind of throw them in there. I didn't want to do that. That sounded weird to me. And so I just wanted the stretch goals to be what they are, which was what additional things that people would get if they pay for the higher tiers, if we reach those things. Because I think that's, to me, that made the most sense as a person who has supported Kickstarters. That's how I like it when people do them. And so I did the same thing. I also have add-ons. So you can get like extra paperbacks, extra hardcovers as add-ons. You can get the sticker packs as add-ons. You can get a foiled bookmark as an add-on. I did not do that in a tier. In a tier, there is a bookmark. It's not foiled. The foiled bookmark is was it an add-on? Or it might be a stretch goal. The bookmark is an add-on, and it's in one of the tiers. I have to remember right now. Anyways, it took me so long to work it out, and I would not have been able to work it out if I didn't do these Excel spreadsheets, because it helped me move stuff around and figure out like, okay, well, this tier isn't working. Clearly, I'm losing money on this one. So what can I take out and what can I put in? I've added things like digital types of rewards. So I've added things like delete a chapter from when I combined the two books together. There was an end chapter that was going to continue the series further, and left it open-ended. And I'm adding that as a thing to a tier. I am adding, one of my stretch goals is a new, brand new chapter written from the POV of the villain, the queen of the book. There is also a Zoom call with me that you can get as one of the add-ons. Two of my add-ons are pretty cool because one of them you can add, and there's a limited amount of these obviously, but you can get to name a side character in my next book as one of the add-ons, or you can become a side character in my next book as another add-on. So like really fun stuff like that are very digital and things like that, and they're not products that I'm sending out, but are like meaningful for the book for my readers, right? So that's kind of like what I was doing there with this one. Now, the setup of Kickstarter. So when I was working on this setup right here, there was a lot that I had to kind of learn. It was a learning curve. It's set up pretty easily, the actual way you would do this, where you kind of drop and roll. So where I was getting stuck are things like their campaign manager, which is a new thing they just rolled out. A campaign manager, I really wanted it because it lets you send out like customized surveys, and there's like all these different things that you could do through it. It's better analytics at the end of your campaign. But you can't set specific shipping prices. So you have to basically tell people an estimation where you're shipping for each, like wherever you are, if you get 1 book, 2 book, 3 books, whatever it is, will be between this and this. And when the campaign ends, which is great because you're not giving people an exact number because shipping prices change every day. So like if you're setting up your campaign like 6 months before you launch it and then shipping has gone on drastically, you're going to lose a ton of money. So that's great. You can give them an estimation. But for some reason, my brain just couldn't, it took me so long to figure out these estimations because to be honest with you, the estimations for the, like an estimation to ship between 1 and 2 books to say Australia was $100 difference. Like that's a huge, like I'm going to tell somebody you're either paying $20 or $120. That's a big difference in shipping, right? So to me, that seemed weird, but it took me a while and I've talked to other authors on the Kickstarter for Authors group, and they all said the same thing, that this is kind of an expected thing, that the readership on the people that go to Kickstarter, they expect it. So it might seem odd to you, but it's fine. So that took a while. I went back and forth, I reset and read my little tears a million times over, you know? The other thing that I did like a lot, and I am a graphic designer, and so for me, this was the fun part of it. I know that if you're not like visual, you might have to hire somebody to do this for you, but visuals are a huge thing. And I have noticed that when I was showing my campaign to people, just to kind of see, when the more visuals that I added, the more people were attracted to it. They were excited about it. So the another thing that I did too is I created a video. So there will be a video when the Kickstarter is launching in July, by the way. I'm talking about it like it's going to be like next year, but it's launching in July. The video that I created, so I was kind of going back and forth on what I want to do. So you could do a book trailer for your video, and I've seen people do that and it looks really, really cool. And you can either hire somebody to do it or you can get like a template and do it yourself and whatever it is. I wanted something a bit more personal, so the way that I worked it was almost like a book trailer where I had kind of shots that I have taken. Again, I have a background in this stuff. I am like a graphic designer, but I'm also like a video and photography graduate. And so I know how to do this and I have the equipment and stuff. So it was easier for me. I understand that not everybody can have the same thing, but keep in mind, cell phones these days are miracle workers. So you can film a lot of this on your cell phone and then just use editing apps like CapCut and stuff like that to do the video. So you can do it, and Canva, which I'll tell you how I use Canva for the video as well. So first thing I did for this video, and like obviously you can't see it now because it's kind of behind the wall right now in Kickstarter, but please try to imagine, work with me here. So the first thing I did was I had shots of this. So I had like a shot showing the front, the spine, the back, kind of showing all the edges, and then flipping through the book inside. So you can see kind of the visuals of the book, the physical product that you will be getting. And I showed that off. And as I did these shots, I filmed myself doing a voiceover, which was like a trailer for the book. It was like a short little, like when you watch a movie and you've got like your key points, like hooks basically. And so you would have voiceover and some cool music and then, your typical like epic music that you hear for these things in the background while I'm doing like slow motion showing of the book. And I cut these so that you would have like a little bit of that. And then you have talking head, which is me talking as an author. So people can actually like get to know me, and I'm talking to you about the book and I'm talking to you about why it's important and why I think the messaging behind this book is really important, especially for young adults and stuff like that. And I'm also holding the book while I do this, so you can see it in person more. So I did kind of cuts in between this. And then I used Canva to do a nice splashy end screen that had moving parts and it looked like spaceship stuff with a call to action that like basically said like back the campaign, take back the star kind of thing. So it was just like a fun little like end screen, like a splashy end screen at the end of that. And that's going to be the main video that you see at the top. Now, when I filmed these, what I actually also did was I took the same template that I had from Canva and I put a few videos on it where I am showing off the book in 3 different videos, and I turned that into a GIF. And a GIF is something that you can put in the story. You can't put videos anywhere except on top, but you can put GIFs in the middle of your story when you're telling people about what they're getting and the book and the whole campaign breakdown. And so I put the little GIFs in there of this and of the paperback so they can see a GIF of me flipping through it and showing them. So that worked out like a 2-for, right? If you're already doing videos, cannibalize them and use them in the story. So like I said, I haven't ran this Kickstarter yet, so I don't know. I'm slowly building up like pre-launch followers. I don't have high expectations. I never do. I hope people love this book. I think it's like, honestly, I think it's a great book. I really love it. It's one of my favorite books that I've written. And I really do think it's like tremendously beautiful, if I may say so myself. I just feel like it is absolutely like a gorgeous book that will sit on your shelf, and it's huge. And, you know, it's just, I'm like absolutely like mind-boggling obsessed with it. So I hope it goes well. We'll see how it goes. I will keep everybody updated here as we go. However, I just, you know, if you are let me leave you with this. So my final note, if you are thinking of starting a Kickstarter, do not rush into it. Do your research. Read the book from the Facebook group. Join the Facebook group. Ask people questions. Read what people have to say. Familiarize yourself with the platform. And more importantly, and this was a very important one for me, although I have already backed campaigns before, back some book campaigns. So if you've backed campaigns on Kickstarter, I've backed a lot of art campaigns on Kickstarter. I love to back artist books on Kickstarter. But if you haven't backed fiction books on Kickstarter, pick a few that you like and back them. You can back them at the lowest setting, like the lowest tier, the digital tier, just to kind of, because that will give you a view of how authors handle the back end of things, how they handle the fulfillment, what kind of messages they send out to their backers, which is something you will have to do as you like reach goals and stretch goals and stuff, or as people that back things, how they have everything set up. Study Kickstarter. Go there like every day and look what's new and see what's coming up and see how those like layouts are, how the pre-launch pages look, and then go into like campaigns, do the search bar, familiarize yourself with the search bar, and do searches for like the new and the top kind of releases and see what's working. It will give you a lot of ideas. I came up with a ton of ideas for how to structure my campaign based on just literally stalking Kickstarter every single day for like a month, you know, and backing more and more people as well. So just take your time is my biggest tip. Don't rush into it. Take weeks, take a month to set up your campaign and tweak it. Also put it up for pre-launch while you're tweaking it. So get that splash page up and get some of the information about the book up and just put it up there and start slowly collecting pre-launchers. I just started this, so I don't have many, but I do intend to keep going and keep promoting the Kickstarter and talking about it everywhere. I'm joining groups, doing newsletter swaps with like authors that I know. So just trying to really get the word out there about this thing as much as I can, you know, because the longer that you do this for, the more people you'll have following you the day of the launch, and the more successful it will be. And you don't want to be scrambling after you launch your campaign. So just, again, take your time. There's no rush. This is a long process. It takes months to create, then fulfill, and all of that. Also, make sure you set realistic expectations for your readers. But I think that those are the kinds of things that I will discuss in the post-campaign video that we'll do when the campaign is over. But with that said, for now, if you want to support this beauty, this absolute gorgeous beauty. Also, can we just very quickly note like how cool and nostalgic 80s sci-fi this is? Like that was my whole goal with this design, is to make it like colorful, bright, like fun, super like 80s sci-fi kind of look. And that, I think we really achieved that. So if you want to come and check out and follow this beauty on the pre-launch page, it is linked right in this description. So make sure you check that out, and hopefully you give us a follow and you're interested in getting either this one or the paperback. So as always, I've been babbling a lot. This is a very long video, but I'm very excited, clearly. But as always, thank you so much for joining me here. If you stuck around to the end, you rock. I know that I'm all over the place, but thank you so much. I love you guys. I love the community that we have here. I love doing these videos for you. If you have any videos that you want me to create, make sure you comment them below and let me know. If you are starting your own Kickstarter, comment below and let me know so I can go check it out. And with that said, I hope you stay magical, and I will talk to you next week when we're back with another video. Bye.